I need to talk about something that happened a few days ago and how I've been feeling about it. But basically, on Friday, I was having a class in uni, and then the class ended, and I was planning to go to another uni, which was only like a mile away, in order to record a video like this. And so I was going to this other uni, the other campus, and so I was waiting on the bus stop, and it was really cold and I did not have the best clothes on, so I was kind of freezing. So I was hoping that the bus would come soon and I wouldn't have to wait too long. And then I saw a bus approaching. It was like a blue bus with 2 floors. And I thought, yes, I got lucky, I did not have to wait so long. But the bus did not stop. It just drove by and kept driving. And then I looked at the number and I figured that this wasn't the bus I was supposed to wait for. So I kept waiting and worrying that I will like freeze to death, but not too long after another bus came, also a blue 2-floored bus, and this was the bus I was supposed to take. And so I hopped on this bus and I went on the 2nd floor because of course I did. And I expected the bus to drive me to the other campus as always. But all of a sudden, I noticed that this bus was driving suspiciously slow. And all of a sudden, the bus just completely stopped, and I heard the driver instruct us all to get off the bus. And he was speaking with broken grammar, so it took everyone like forever until it occurred to them that this driver was telling everyone to leave. But anyways, we all left at this random place, and when I left, I was basically met with this. Basically, there were a bunch of sirens and policemen everywhere, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? I was pretty concerned. I was like, was this a terrorist attack? And when I had like this anxiety, I chose to eat the anxiety away. I had some food with me and I took the food and started eating. And then I was supposed to walk towards the campus that I was planning to walk to, but like the whole thing was closed off. There were like guards, police tapes and everything in the way. So I just went the other direction, to the metro. And when I went to the metro, I then went underground, and through the metro system I went to the campus area, and I decided to go into the uni and record the video anyway because I had so-called discipline. But on my way to the uni I saw even more police tapes and stuff and I got even more confused. But eventually I went inside the building and I stayed there for like at least half an hour when I received a call from my mother. And she was like, where are you? And I was like, at uni. And she was like, did you hear what happened? Many people died. And I was like, holy crap, it's worse than I thought. And like, I tried to read the news and see what happened, but I could not find anything. It wasn't until the evening of that day that I finally found out what basically happened.
And the double-decker bus here in the middle accelerated and crashed into the bus stop.
Stuff like this doesn't happen here in Stockholm. You hear about it elsewhere, but when it feels so close almost, as something like this could happen here. And I just feel for the victims' families. I mean, they're just waiting to get on their bus home, and then that will be
The last thing.
Yeah, it's just so surreal.
Well, of course, it's one of the. I think it's one of the busier, hub stations with buses and the subway and the Roslagsbanan railway line going north. So it's a busy university, KTH Royal University of Technology, and a big bus hub.
So apparently there was a bus that rammed into a bus stop and killed 3 people and injured more. Now, I'm not sure at what exact time I left, and went to the bus stop at, my first campus where I was, initially standing in the cold and waiting for the bus. But when I later read more, in the news, I eventually put 2 and 2 together, and I realized that the bus that rammed into people was most likely the first bus I saw. That bus that did not stop and kept driving. The one that I was not supposed to hop into. And so I've been feeling some kind of survivor's guilt ever since. Because it happened literally minutes before I located myself in that very place. I was almost at the time that this took place in that specific area of the city. And I also feel like an omen, a literal omen, because I possibly saw this boss literally minutes before it happened. So yeah, I'm having some form of PTSD right now. Like I said, I feel like an omen, and I just needed to give an update and share how I have been feeling. And also, naturally, I hope all the people that died may rest in peace. And all the people that got injured, I wish them a quick recovery. And prayers and blessings to pretty much anyone involved, even myself.